Good evening, YouTube. Spencer here, back for pen chat number 9. Excuse me. If you watched pen chat number 8, I promised a video on paper. Still going to do that. It's just not going to be right now. It'll be probably number 10. So tonight I'm going to talk about my 2025 superlatives and my 2025 favorite pens, favorite inks, favorite paper, and I've kind of made up some categories for it. So I think it'll be a fun video. It'll be fun to do it. I reorganized my living room to make this as aesthetic as possible. But you still have to look at my ugly mug, so joke's on you. Bourbon. I've got Knob Creek Cast Strength Single Barrel Select. This is 122.9 proof, so if this goes beyond 30 minutes, we might start repeating some pens. So the kind of origin of this video is I wanted to so in January of this year, I got myself an eNote device. It was a V-Woods is what it's called. Didn't have it very long, felt kind of gross, but I got it because I just felt disorganized. I felt like I needed kind of a new system for notes and contacts and calendar and things like that. And it was fine for what it was. And, I had it for maybe a couple weeks and then I returned it. And around the same time, my buddy Matt had gotten himself a Lamy LX. And he kind of, he showed me some writing samples and things like that. And I remembered, wait, I have some fountain pens somewhere. So I went into my truck and I looked for them, and I thought I knew where I'd put them, probably back in 2020, the last time I used them, and found them. And one was a Jinhao, which I talked about in an earlier video. And I had inked it up all those years ago with Bay State Blue. So you can imagine it was pretty difficult to clean out. But I did, I cleaned it out, got some pen flush, inked it up again with Bay State Blue, because that was the only fountain pen ink that I really had ever used before. And used that for, a couple weeks or so. And then I got a Lamy LX, copying my buddy Matt. And anyway, so that was all in January. So since that time, I have tried, and I wrote it down, so that's why I'm looking at my paper here. I've tried 47 pens, which is a lot. And it's everything ranging from, the cheapest Asvines and Jinhaos and, things like that, to the grailest of grail pens. And I've tried 25 different inks, 25 different ink brands. So probably about 50 or 60 different inks. I've also, and I actually went through and I listed all these. So I kind of, I'm not just making that number up. I've tried several pens in different nib sizes, so I didn't count those as separate pens. So for example, the Pilot 743, I've tried in a soft fine, medium, but didn't count that as 3 pens. So I've tried quite a bit, and I have, over the course of the year, really narrowed down what I like and what I don't. And I will say too that the most pens I've ever had that I've ever owned at one time was 11. And right now I have 6. I try to keep it between 5 and 7 so I don't get, kind of oversaturated, and I, actually use the pens that I have. So I try to keep it between 5 and 7. If I get above that, I'll sell some pens. I'll get it back down in that number. And that's really helped me kind of determine what I will never sell and what I might sell. So there's some pens on this list of ones that I've tried and ones that I've owned that are grail pens for some people, and for whatever reason just didn't do it for me, so I sold them. So yeah, for this video, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna highlight kind of what 2025 brought for me and what it exposed me to, and then kind of give you some of my conclusions or the conclusions that I've reached. Everybody's different on favorite inks, favorite pens, and favorite paper. So hope you enjoy the video, and We'll start it here in about 3 minutes. All right, so first I'm going to talk about my favorite inks, and I'm just going to run through this list because I actually have a pretty good amount here. So for light and royal blue inks, my favorites are Pilot Blue, Sailor Kanagi. It smells weird, but it's a great ink. The Wet Pen Company Rainier Blue, Waterman Serenity Blue, and Graphon Faber-Castell Lapis Lazuli. Of those, I'd say probably Pilot Blue and the Faber-Castell ink are probably my two most used. All right, blue blacks. My favorites were Aurora Blue Black, Lennon Toolbar Want, Robert Oster Great Southern Ocean, and Diamine Oxford Blue. Great Southern Ocean is a very wet ink. It's kind of like a green, navy blue, dark blue, blue black. It's a really cool color. I'm on my second bottle of that ink. Aurora Blue Black is just, you know, it's standard blue black. There's nothing really special about it, but it just flows great. I think it's kind of designed for the drier nibs. So if you use it in like a Pilot or something like that, it's going to feel really good coming out of your pen. Lennon Toolbar Want has a really cool sheen to it. Great flow, tiny bottle. So if you're using a number 8 nib, you really can only get about 2 or 3 fills out of it before you have to kind of tip it. But that's a great ink as well. And then Diamine Oxford Blue, my favorite. But we'll talk about that later. I don't want to spoil it. And then in other colors, I really only use blues. I've tried many of the things. I have a good bit of reds that I've tried, and I like Robert Oster Blue Moon or Blood Moon. Tried a couple greens, not really a green guy. So in others, they're kind of the yellow-brown category. So Robert Oster Whiskey is one of my favorites. And then KWZ Honey, which is a little bit lighter than Robert Oster Whiskey, a little bit more yellow, but great shading, great flow. I really like KWZ inks. All right, so take a break here. So favorite pens. So I'm just gonna do steel and gold nibs. So steel nibs, I'll say Franklin Christoph Model 66 with the medium sig nib, which is the stub metallic grade, I think is what it stands for. Second was a Schaefer Imperial vintage pen, steel nib, medium nib, great writer. Gave that one to my sister, and I'll probably take it back. The 50/40 Titan with a number 8 Jovo nib, big nib, cool filling system. Really just a really great nib though. That was in a fine. And then for gold nibs, some of the standouts were a Parker Duofold Centennial in a fine, Pilot Custom 823, of course, in a medium. I've had a fine in that, didn't like it nearly as much. The medium is the sweet spot for sure, even if you have small handwriting like me. Graphon Faber-Castell Classic in a fine, Santini Latina in a medium with a number 8 gold nib. That was a great pen, great nib. And a Pilot Custom Urushi in fine medium. Now, I do want to say, as I'm going through these and doing my superlatives here, I am excluding one pen. I'm excluding the Namiki Emperor from consideration because it would win every category. So pretty much every category. But yeah, so the Namiki Emperor, it's not included in this. Just assume it probably wins out everything, or at least comes very close second. It's things like practicality and stuff, probably not a winner there. But so I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'll do a kind of a special review of just that pen at some point. All right, so my superlatives. So inks. Best color overall is Diamine Oxford Blue. Best sheen, Wet Pen Rainier Blue. Best shading is Robert Oster Whiskey. The best light blue is Pilot Blue. Best dark blue or blue black is Diamine Oxford Blue. And the best wet ink is Wet Pen Emerald City Blue. So Diamine Oxford Blue is just a great color. It's my favorite color, navy blue. It's got a little bit of a red burgundy sheen to it. Not a whole lot of shading, which I don't mind at all. And it's just perfect in every pen. It's not too wet. It is wet, but it's not too wet, so you can put it in really any pen, any nib, and it's going to write really well. Just looks great on off-white paper. It looks great on pure white paper. So just a great ink. Best sheen is Wet Pen Rainier Blue, which is just a really cool color. It's hard to find it. He makes them in really small batches. I signed up for the notification if he was restocked, and I got a bottle of it. It's more like a teal. It's not quite like as blue as a Pilot Blue. Like, it's not quite true blue, but it is a nice color blue. It's more turquoise with just a cool sheen to it. Best shading, Robert Oster Whiskey. It's kind of light, so I don't use it all the time, but I do really like it in a really wet nib. Just looks great, great flow. I find that browns run a little bit drier, browns and yellows, orange colors. But Robert Oster Whiskey is an exception to that. I think it has a really good flow to it. Best lighter blue, Pilot Blue. Just, it's perfect. It's cheap. You can find it on jet pens, actually. It's the bottle that comes with the Pilot 823, the Pilot 743 that most people probably never open. But it's a great ink, and if you have a bottle, you should try it out. It's got a great sheen to it as well. Great shading. It's just a really nice ink. Well behaved. Dark blue, Diamine Oxford Blue, I already talked about that. And then wet ink, Wet Pen Emerald City Blue. It's a gusher for sure. Has a really cool sheen to it. It's like a yellow green. And the ink itself is almost like a Ace of Gal type color, like that blue purple. Probably leans more blue, but it's just a really cool color. Again, hard to find. You sign up for notifications, but it's a great ink. All right. So for pens, let me do, see if I have a list of the actual pens that I've tried. Let's do it that way. I do. Give me 1 second. All right, so pens that I have tried / owned. I'm not going to say which ones I've owned and which ones I've tried, but if I will talk about a couple of them and why I don't still have them or why I kept them. And that will make it maybe kind of obvious. So pens I tried, various Gin House, don't have any of them anymore. Various Asvines, don't have any of them anymore. Lamy Safari, don't have it. Lamy LX, don't have it. Monteverde Ritma, don't have it. Schaefer Coffee, don't have it. Parker Debutante Vacuumatic. Cool vintage pen, gave that one to my wife. She still uses it. I actually spent probably an hour cleaning it out the other night. Those things are hard to clean. Pelican M250, don't have it. Too small. I mean, it was a medium nib, wrote really well, but it was just tiny. Sailor Pro Gear Slim, too small. Sailor Pro Gear. I don't know about the Sailor models, so it might be called something different, but it was larger than the Pro Gear Slim. I think it was 21 karat gold nib, maybe not, I'm not sure, but regardless, don't have it simply because it was too small and the converter wasn't a fan. Kaweco Sport, don't have it. I had the brass one, didn't like the smell, didn't like the nib, didn't like the ink capacity, and just never thought I'd use it. Namisu Nova, that's a little pocket pen, don't have that one. Nib wasn't great. I actually got a replacement nib that was a little bit better so I could sell it, just a standard Bach nib. Desiderata Pen Company, I had the Procession. Cool pen. I liked that it was, made by a small maker, but just didn't use it, so got rid of that one. Diplomat Viper, grip section was does not work for me. Wait, no, that's the That's the Arrow. Okay, Diplomat Viper. It was fine. It just wasn't wowed by anything about it. The magnetic cap is really cool on that. Honestly, I don't like the looks of it. I think the snakeskin kind of looks a little bit cheesy. But, you know, that's me. And look at the shirt I'm wearing. So who am I to judge style or design choices? Diplomat Arrow. Yeah, the grip section was just way too small. Honestly, I loved everything else about it, but it just didn't work for my hand, didn't work for my grip. My fingers would constantly slide down off of the grip section. If it was maybe a little bit more flared or a little bit thicker, I think it'd be an awesome pen, everyday carry type pen. So if you grip a little bit higher up, or you don't have sweaty fingers, or you have smaller hands, I think it's an awesome pen, and I'd recommend it to anybody. But for me, it didn't work. Esterbrook Model J, it's a small little vintage pen. Just wanted to try it out. Pilot Custom Sterling Silver, cool, but sold that one. Not a big fan of ink cartridges. I like, if I'm going to use a converter type pen, I'm going to use a converter. I don't like to be pigeonholed into different inks. So, and it takes the Con 40, which is, I hate that. So don't have that one. Platinum 3776, that was in a gathered black. So it's a vintage pen. It was in a broad nib. Just not crazy about platinum nibs, honestly. So got rid of that one. Pilot E95S, too small. But I just tried that one out. So, but yeah, just too small. And I don't like the fact that you can kind of hear it rattling in the, I think probably it's the Con 40, but you can hear like a rattle when you shake it a little bit. I get why people like it. The nib is great, and it looks really cool. It's just, yeah, maybe a little too small. Montblanc Classic, which is a very tiny pen. Got rid of that one. Lamy 2000 Macrolon. The nibs just never worked for me. Never could figure it out. I really tried to like it, and I actually got a second one. I got one, sold it, bought a second one months later in Macrolon, thinking, oh, maybe I just missed something. And I liked it better that time, but still didn't like it that much to justify keeping it. A Lamy 2000 Stainless Steel, just the same as the Lamy 2000 Macrolon, but about 4 times heavier. Montblanc Meisterstuck 74, great pen, very pretty, vintage, but I sold that one. Platinum President, again, platinum nibs. Franklin Christoph Model 66, thought it was great, but no clip, and it was really long, so I sold that one. It's a desk pen. All right, sorry, I got briefly interrupted. Okay, yeah, Franklin Model 66, Franklin Christoph. The nibs are great on those. It's an awesome steel nib, but the Model 66 is just, it's a desk pen. So it's long, it's pretty slender. It's comfortable. I mean, the grip section is great on it, but, and no clip. And I don't think you'd put it in a pocket anyways, because it's a long pen. So get rid of that. I will probably get another Franklin Christoph at some point. I was very, I say impressed, like they care, but like they care what I think, but very impressed with the nib. I actually have that pen, is my only one in this section underlined. Schaefer 100, I don't know what that is. So it must not have stuck out to me. Faber-Castell Hexo, tiny little nib, great little steel nib, cheap pen, cheap, 50 bucks or so. But a great steel nib. I wanted to try a Faber-Castell steel nib before I thought about getting a gold nib. And then last one on this list is the Schaefer Imperial, which I talked about a little bit earlier. Schaefer Imperial is just a vintage pen, squeeze converter, stainless steel nib. Honestly, it was a great writer. Medium, a little bit flexy or kind of soft nib. It was an inlaid nib. If you can find them on eBay for like 40 to 60 bucks. If you find one, I would recommend you looking into it, see if you can get a decent deal on it. All right, so now we're going to move into the big boys of pens that I've tried in 2025. All right, so this is in no particular order. Parker Duofold Centennial with the Ace of Spades nib. I had that one in a fine. The nib was fantastic. It is one of my favorite nibs of the year. It is underlined for that reason on my little cheat sheet. Love the color of it. Love the size of it. I honestly kind of regret selling that one. I sold it because at the time I had I was saving up for something, and so I got rid of that one. I'll probably get another one because I think you can find them used for pretty good prices, and I think it's absolutely worth it. I mean, it's plastic; it's nothing crazy with materials, but I think it looks cool. I think the nib is cool. The design is very kind of retro, and I had one of the modern ones, not one of the vintage ones. Montblanc 149. I had that one in a fine. It was almost like it was an older pen, like from the early 90s. It wrote great. The piston converter felt a little loose. That's not that big of a deal. I probably could have gotten that fixed pretty easily. And then the nib was ground previously to almost like an architect type nib, but it was very fine. So I thought it was a great writer. I didn't love it. And honestly, I only bought that one because I wanted to try out a Montblanc fine and a Montblanc medium. So Aurora 88, I had the Ebonite, and I also had a clear demonstrator at different times. I sold the 88 Ebonite. The pens are great. Aurora makes great pens. They make everything in-house. Just didn't really, the nib didn't really wow me that much. It was kind of dry and a little bit scratchy. Not really like a super pleasant feedback, but never like skipped or hard-sided or anything. But it was a medium, and it was a very fine medium. So I got another Aurora 88 to see if I liked that nib better. Same thing, so I sold that one too. Just don't think that I'm an Aurora person. Pelican M800, I had it in a medium, had the green striped, just wrote way too wet. Sold that one fairly quickly. Pilot Custom 823, one of my favorites. Still have it. I have the amber and medium. I tried the smoke variety in fine. Didn't like the nib nearly as much as the medium. The fine is a great nib, but the medium is just perfect. Perfect nib, perfect pen. Love the color, love the amber and the translucent barrel, and I just absolutely love that pen. I use it every day. Montblanc Origins 149. This was a gift. Actually, it was a very amazing gift, and I obviously still have that one because I'll never get rid of that one, and it's an awesome pen. Montblanc nibs are pretty firm. They're not super, for a number 8 nib, they're not super bouncy or super soft. So it makes it really good for like printing. And I actually had the nib ground down a little bit to more towards a Pilot Custom 823 medium size. Because when I got the Montblanc, it just wrote really wet, excuse me. Pelican M1000, I had an extra fine. Actually just recently sold that one, so it's been in some recent videos. Pelicans just for some reason don't do it for me. I love the look of them. I love writing with the nibs in small doses. It's not a very practical nib, I don't think. It's not really something that I like yearn to write with. And it's a grail for a lot of people, and that's great. I think it's awesome. I'm glad that I tried it. I owned it for probably 6 months. Just for some reason, just doesn't click with me. Pilot Vanishing Point, same thing. Just, I get why people like it. I get the appeal. Just didn't do it for me. Sailor 1911 King of Pen, awesome nib. Just hate the converters in those. I don't know what it is. They just feel so cheap, and for such an awesome pen, And the fact that the King of Pens only come in medium and broad, you go through a converter in like 2 days. So I just didn't, I don't think I'll get another Sailor, honestly. The nibs are so cool. I think the only reason why I would get one is for the nib, and then maybe swap it into like a 50/40 Titan or something like that. Something with a better filling system. I've seen some people who have done that, not in person, but on Reddit, I think, and looks crazy, and I would be worried I was going to mess something up. But Pilot Custom Urushi, Graphon Faber Castell Classic. I was really surprised by the graph. I knew it was going to be awesome. I got the Macassar wood variant, and that is one of the ones that I will be keeping. Can't see it in that, but I'll do a close-up later. I have it in a fine. It has an amazing feedback to it, and just a really awesome writer. It's a beautiful pen. The clip is the best clip I've ever used. I guess if I had one complaint about it is that I wish that the clip was a little bit longer. It doesn't feel super secure in like this area of the shirt, which is where I typically keep my pens. So let's see, that's the classic 50/40 Titan. I had it in titanium and sold that one. Really regretted it. And I got a new one. I sold that. It was a little heavy. I got the forged carbon fiber through some trades, and it's immensely better. It's an amazing pen. One of my favorites. Santini Latina. Got that one because I wanted to try the Santini nibs, and it was on sale. The Santini nibs are excellent. The designs themselves are a little flashy for me. A lot of plated gold and a lot of bright, shiny resin. Not really my design aesthetic, so I sold that one. But it was cool to try. Again, nibs are awesome. Santini's a great company. I'd recommend you get one if you're interested in it or if you've looked into it. The nibs are very similar to a Pelican M1000, but I think a little bit better, a little bit more enjoyable to use, which is probably would be a surprise to most people, but that's my opinion. Auto Hoot Design 08. This was a grail pen of mine. I actually traded my original Titan for it. And yeah, just too heavy, way too heavy. And the filling system is cool, it's innovative, but it's weird. And it's not super, what's the word I'm looking for? Intuitive. So I would ink it up, and then I would go to change inks. It's really hard to clean too. And then I would go to change inks like 2 weeks later, and I'd have to reteach myself how to use it. Pilot Custom 845 in medium. Honestly, the Pilot 823 medium I thought was a better nib. And the 845, I was expecting it to wow me, but it didn't. It was kind of boring. I got it in black. Just, I don't know, didn't do it for me. And I'm a Pilot junkie, loyalist, you know, whatever you want to say, but the 845 just didn't do it. Pilot Custom 743, I had it in a soft fine medium. I just prefer the Pilot 823 to the 743, and I prefer the Pilot medium to the soft fine medium. So sold that one. Namiki Emperor, again, I'm not really, if I made this video, excuse me, it included the Namiki Emperor to win every category, so I'm not really including that. But amazing, just amazing. I own that. It is, I actually have it in a different pen case, but it's, yeah, just spectacular pen, no notes. All right, so I'll talk about real quick some of the ink brands that I've tried. I mentioned I've tried 25 that I can remember at least, that are either on my bookshelf or I can remember using them. So Robert Oster, great line of blues, and Robert Oster whiskey is my favorite non-blue ink. Pilot just their standard ink brands, Pilot Blue, Pilot Blue Black, Pilot Black, all great. Namiki Blue, which is the same as Pilot Blue, Iroshizuku. I like Konpeki fine. Tsukio, I don't really love the color that much. It's not quite dark enough for me. I've tried Yamabudo, which is like a pink, purple, and honestly, I really like that. I just had one spare cartridge, and so I tried it. Sailor inks, they're fine. They smell weird. There's one that I really like, Kanagi, which I mentioned earlier. KWZ inks are awesome. They flow great. Come in big bottles, very easy to fill. Lennon Toolbar, I've tried a couple of them. Want is great. I've tried one of their browns, or like a whiskey color. Didn't like it that much. It was really dry, but Lennon Toolbar Want is a great ink. Hongdian Sky Blue is nice. It's nice in certain pens that do a lot of shading. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty light and kind of boring. Platinum, fine. Platinum Blue Black for a while was kind of a go-to for me, but it writes kind of dry for me. Takia, they make fine inks. I have had Saba Midori. I've tried that one. Tried Sky Blue or something similar. They're fine. Waringle, fine. Again, kind of dry. Lamy, fine. Just standard Lamy Blue is a good kind of basic everyday blue. Aurora Blue Black I mentioned earlier. Waterman, Serenity Blue, and Mysterious Blue. Mysterious Blue, not crazy about. Waterman, Serenity Blue is great. Again, kind of everyday light blue, royal blue ink. Pelican, dry. Octopus inks, I don't know that I've ever actually tried that, but I have one. Maybe my wife has used it, I'm not quite sure, but just very shimmery, very sheeny type inks. Graph on Faber-Castell, I love their inks. I like Cobalt Blue, I like Royal Blue a lot, I like Midnight Blue, and I like Lapis Lazuli, which I talked about earlier. Ackerman, kind of dry. I've only ever tried a brown. I don't know if their blues are better, but the bottles are cool, very tall bottles, like almost look like a decanter. Montblanc, not crazy about it. Not crazy about their inks. Jacques Urban, I have a shimmer that I've never used because I don't use shimmer inks, and I had Bleu de Profondeurs, which I think is a great ink, and then Achate or Saphir or something, which is like almost like Asagal, but I think Asagal's a little bit maybe better. Diamine is you know what you're getting. Great flow. You're getting a huge variety of colors. Every shade of blue you can possibly think of, Diamine has it. Noodlers, just doesn't. I don't know. They're too wet. They feather. They're not very well behaved. Not a huge fan. Wet pen inks, they're great. Small batches, so get them in very small quantities, but they all flow well. They have cool colors, cool shading, cool sheening. The blues are great. Birmingham inks, I like them. I don't know how much I like them, but they're fine. Franklin Christoph, I just have one, Blue 72. It's fine, standard kind of light blue. All right, so now I'm gonna go into my office, and I'm gonna show you my favorite pen, absolute favorite pen, my favorite ink, so my favorite pen and ink combo, and then I'll do a writing sample with my favorite paper. So if you've made it this far, thank you, and we'll turn it over here in a few minutes. So for favorite pen and ink of 2025, it was pretty close, honestly, in terms of inks. Pilot Blue was up there. Great Southern Ocean was up there. Pilot Blue Black was up there. Faber-Castell Lapis Lazuli was up there. But ink, top ink is definitely Diamine Oxford Blue. I think it's the most versatile blue-black ink. It's not super dark, but it's not super light either. It's a true navy blue. Great flow. Just very affordable ink. Graph on Faber-Castell Cobalt Blue is very similar in color. It's a little bit drier and it's about twice the price. So it's a cool color, but it doesn't do anything better than Diamine Oxford Blue. So this is my pick for best ink that I've ever used, best ink I've used in 2025, and my favorite with this particular pen. So in terms of pens, it was pretty close. The Graphon Faber-Castell Classic was up there. A little less than half turn. Gorgeous nib, small nib, it's number 5. But this is the Macassar wood, and it's just beautiful pen. And like I said earlier, probably the best clip of any pen, spring-loaded. Yeah, great. And as I also said, we're not considering the Namiki Emperor because it would win every category. So, what is my favorite pen? If I could only keep one, I wouldn't keep the Namiki Emperor because it's just too big for everyday use, and I carry a pen with me pretty much everywhere I go. So if I could only keep one, it would be the Pilot Custom Urushi Impression Blue. It's my favorite of all the pens I mentioned earlier. It's my favorite of any pen I've ever used, tried, owned. It's my favorite nib. It's my favorite look and design. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the color. I love the black finials on the barrel and on the cap. I love the kind of, I guess very like classy use of the gold plating. I think complements the pen very well. I love the feel in the hand, the Urushi finish. It's warm to the touch. It warms up with your hand. The cap is large and just kind of sits on its own on the side. So if you don't really post your pens like I do, not that I would post it with this, this monstrosity of a pen when it's posted, but it's a great weight. It's a great section. Just everything about it just fits perfectly in my hand. So for me, this is my favorite. So I'll just be quiet here, take a little sip, and I'll do a little writing sample. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.